Hey everyone, I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on how to actually be able to program your Baofeng two-way radio with the BF480 software and the BF888s software. There's been a number of people who have mentioned that they've run into problems trying to get the radio to communicate with their computers and the software properly. Uh, First things first is there are a lot of clone cables out there or counterfeit cables, and while that might be one of the problems, what I have found here, I ended up finding out that I did get a counterfeit cable through Amazon, which is probably why it was so cheap. But I managed to get it going, and just a couple little hints from what I've dug up. Some people say that putting the radio on channel 16 can help you enter programming mode. Some people say that pushing the bottom orange button on the side while turning the radio on will help you put it into programming mode. I haven't had to do either. First things first, if you did get the cable, you might have gotten a CD with it, and chances are if you didn't get the BF888 software from Baofeng, you probably got the BF480 software. So that's fine. That software is fully compatible with this radio. Second thing is the driver. Now, Windows 10 comes with an updated prolific driver that it will automatically install when you plug your cable into your computer. That is the first cause of problems. You have to make sure you use the prolific 3.2.0.0 driver. And that's readily available on many websites. There is an installer package available, so it'll automatically do it for you and replace the driver. After you do that, you have to reboot your computer so that new driver is picked up when the cable is plugged in. Okay, make sure your programming cable is snugly plugged in. Make sure your radio is on. And we're going to start off with the software itself. As I mentioned, many people use the BF480 package, but when they go to start it, in most cases, it shows up in Chinese. The way to simply change that is there is a program called P language, and if you run that, you get the option of selecting between Chinese and English. Just select English and click OK, and it'll change the configuration file to start the program in English. Now, I've already done this, and I've got the software running. So let me just bring it up. Now, here's the problem that a lot of people experience. And what I'm going to do is show you, first of all, setup. Make sure you select the correct COM port. Mine is COM port 3, so I say OK. The second thing, confusing thing, is when you go to actually program. You want to read from the radio first. And when I click read from radio, it just sits there and does nothing. It's at this point that a lot of people think, oh, it's not communicating with the radio. So you end up hitting cancel or X. What the software is actually waiting for you to do is acknowledge that you want to read from radio. And the easy way to do that is just simply to click OK. And there it goes. Now you can change your frequencies, your tones, your TX power, wide, narrow bandwidth, scanning, beat shift. That is one other feature that some people don't understand what it does. The instructions for the software often, and in fact the box itself and the advertisements on Amazon say that this radio comes with a scrambler. Beat shift is similar to a scrambling process, but in no means is it secure. You could still understand a conversation even with beat shift enabled. All it does is just alter your voice a little bit. If you were talking to someone who had beat shift on and you had it off, you would sound garbled, and vice versa. If you wanted a true voice scrambling feature, you would look for voice inversion or an analog to digital conversion to give you that sort of privacy. So if you don't need it, I wouldn't even recommend enabling beat shift. It really is a useless feature. So let's say we're done our programming. The next thing that we do is just go back to here and say write to radio. The dialog box pops up, and again, it looks like it's doing nothing. The software is waiting for you to acknowledge. So we click OK, and there it goes. Writing complete. So this is for the BF888 software. You can get the most recent copy of the BF888 software from Baofeng's site. They do maintain up-to-date copies of the software and links to other repositories that contain the software, and it's virtually the same as the BF888 software. So here we are, we're able to read and write to a radio using the BF888 software or using the BF888 software using a clone cable with Windows 10 and the older prolific driver. I hope that answers some questions. Thanks.